Did. And I think, some people probably got a little confused because typically, when a person serves a 13-year presidency, you think, well, geez, they're probably going to go somewhere and sit in a rocking chair. And I wasn't quite ready to do that. So that's why we were very careful when we framed the announcement. We said, I'm stepping down. But I was always looking for that next opportunity. I never knew that my phone would ring so much when I made that announcement. And I was very blessed and very honored that so many different universities wanted me to consider serving as president of their university, and this opportunity in the private sector came up. And while I did pursue a couple university presidencies, this opportunity just stayed there, and I paid much more attention to it in the last 2 or 3 months, and this is the one that came to fruition, and I'm really, really excited about it because it's a way to apply my skills in a different way than I have in a public institution. I'll be able to transfer a lot of the skill set for how to generate new revenue, how to raise money, how to do some things in the private sector that I've done in the public sector, but this will be for a for-profit company. So it'll be a little bit different than what I've done before. It's with AGB Search, which is a subdivision of AGB, and AGB is the Association of Governing Boards, and AGB Search is that division within AGB that does searches for presidents, for provosts, for deans, for vice presidents. It actually helps universities find new leaders. The position is managing principal. So I'll be in charge of overseeing the whole operation and hiring search consultants and staffers to help universities with searches. No, AGB has not done any search for Ohio University. It's about 6 years old. They primarily focus on smaller public and private universities. They're now ready to move to mid-sized and large universities. So that's one of the reasons they were looking for a president from a mid-sized or a large university to be head of AGB Search, because that's the market they want to try to move into now. Helping to identify future leaders, the next generation of leaders, if you will, is such a critical component of higher education. That's what excited me about this, is to have the opportunity to do some leadership development institutes to try to cultivate and help prepare that next generation of leaders, and then to try to get them placed into critical roles as vice presidents, as provosts, as presidents of universities. That's what excited me about this, and to be able to do that on a national level. So while serving as president, I have felt very much that I've impacted one institution. This will allow me to impact a number of institutions by helping to select the next leaders of those institutions. And they were really looking for someone who could start pretty soon. And while my contract didn't end until June, I thought, well, maybe that might be a reason why they couldn't move forward with me. But my board was so gracious and said, look, if you find an opportunity that comes up before June 30th, they provided the opportunity for me to leave early. And so when they did that, I pursued this, and it all came together, and I'm just really, really excited about taking advantage of the opportunity. What happens is I'll just end it on February the 17th, which will be my last day. And then from there, it's just a question of the university having an interim person in place until the new president starts. So my hope is that by February, the university may have already named a permanent replacement, which will mean they only need an interim for a couple months to get to the permanent person. And so for me, it'll just be whatever that end date is, will be the last day that I officially serve as president of Ohio University. Absolutely, I will be available not only for the interim, but when there's a permanent president identified, I would be more than happy to come back and spend time with the permanent president. That was so helpful to me. President Glidden, who was my predecessor, extended the opportunity for me to come and talk with him, and I did that on 2 or 3 occasions. It was very, very helpful because the first day I sort of felt like I had a handle on the areas where I needed to start. So I would be more than happy to make myself available for the new president. Well, I think Ohio University has been privileged to have 20 presidents in its 212-year history. I think that it's been very fortunate to always pick a person who fits for the times. So some of the challenges that I think a new president will face is how do we stabilize the financial resources of the university? So fundraising will become an important part of what I think a new president will do. I think also paying attention to the academic portfolio of the university. How do we strengthen the academic programs at Ohio University, whether that be with rankings or anything else? I think that's an important component of what a new president will do. I think working on the external level with alumni, with the legislature, is a very, very important part of the role. So keeping the great relationships that we've established with alumni, while also working with the members of the Ohio legislature and working with Congress, our representatives there, to strengthen the ties we have with legislators, elected officials, will be a very important role. And then I think the final piece of that will be refining the strategic plan, something we've lived by for 13 years, kind of maybe setting that up for the next 5 to 10 years and moving forward to see what are the next challenges for Ohio University. And last but certainly not least, someone who understands construction, someone who understands capital improvements, because we've come such a long way with refurbishing the university that the new president will have the opportunity to talk and think about what should the university look like in the next 15 to 20 years. We've gone beyond a period where you can just look at the internal or the external if you're a president. You have to serve the internal constituency groups within the university, but you also have to pay an awful lot of attention to the external constituency groups. And that's where your provost can be such an important partner, because the provost is really your chief academic officer who works with the deans, who works with the faculty and the department chairs to make sure your academic programs are moving forward in the way that you want them to. But the new president will be someone who will be very visible, I believe, with students, faculty, and staff, as well as visible with the community and at the state and national level with our alumni and elected officials. I mean, I have so much loved being the president of my alma mater, representing the students, faculty, and staff of this great university. And that's what I'll miss the most, are the people. You know, the experiences that I've had are once-in-a-lifetime types of experiences, but most of all, it's been the relationships that I've been able to develop with students and faculty and staff over these last 13 years that are the most memorable of my career, and I'll always remember that, and I will miss that, and that's what will bring me back as an alum to connect at homecoming and come back for other different activities throughout the year. So while we will leave on a day-to-day basis, Athens and Ohio University will always have a special place in our hearts, and this will bring us back in the future now. Yeah.